The term achalasia means failure to relax. But what is it that fails to relax in this condition? It is the lower esophageal sphincter. Let us now define this condition properly. A motility disorder of esophagus that causes difficulty in swallowing due to degeneration of nerve cells in the esophagus. Now let us talk about the pathophysiology of achalasia. The pathophysiology of achalasia is very important. The achalasia occurs when there is damage to the ganglion cells within the lower esophagus. But the question is, where in the lower esophagus the ganglion cells are damaged? The answer to this question is within the myenteric plexus of the lower esophagus. So to summarize this, the ganglion cells within the myenteric plexus of the lower esophagus are damaged in achalasia. And this damage to ganglion cells can either be idiopathic or secondary to a known cause, such as Trypanosoma cruzi infection as in Chagas disease or an infection caused by varicella zoster. Now let's focus on this diagram. Note that when this damage occurs, it is the inhibitory ganglion cells that are lost in this condition. When these inhibitory ganglion cells are lost, there is decreased neurotransmitter inhibition. That causes an imbalance of nitric oxide and acetylcholine. The levels of acetylcholine will increase, whereas the levels of nitric oxide will decrease, and that will ultimately result in achalasia. This condition more commonly occurs in middle-aged people. The clinical features of achalasia include dysphagia, which means difficulty in swallowing. Dysphagia, or the difficulty in swallowing, is to both solids and liquids. Other clinical features include regurgitation, chest pain, hiccups, and weight loss. The regurgitation can sometimes lead to aspiration pneumonia. Now, what complications can occur as a result of achalasia? These complications include weight loss, pneumonia, esophagitis, and esophageal cancer. Now, for the diagnosis of achalasia, first we'll do a barium swallow. On barium swallow, we'll see a bird beak or red tail sign, which is the characteristic sign of achalasia. The second test that we can do is manometry. It is the most accurate test, and it will show us the failure of lower esophageal sphincter to relax. On manometry, the lower esophageal sphincter will be hypertensive. Its pressure will be more than 45 mm of mercury, and there will be no peristalsis in the body of esophagus. After manometry, we can also do a chest X-ray. The chest X-ray may show some abnormal dilatation of the esophagus, but it is neither very sensitive nor very specific. We can also do an upper endoscopy. This is usually done to rule out any stricture or malignancy. But note that in upper endoscopy, in achalasia, the mucosa is a normal mucosa. And now we'll talk about the treatment of achalasia. Achalasia cannot exactly be cured because nothing can restore the normal function of the neurological control of the esophagus. However, we can decrease the intensity of the disease by providing certain treatment. One sort of treatment includes by giving drugs such as calcium channel blockers and nitrates. All the other treatment is based on simple mechanical dilatation of the esophagus. And this includes pneumatic dilation, also known as endoscopic balloon dilation. In this procedure, a balloon is inflated with the help of an endoscope to enlarge the esophagus. Pneumatic dilation is effective in more than 80 to 85% of patients, but it has a drawback. It can sometimes lead to perforation in some patients. Okay, now we'll talk about Heller's myotomy. The best long-term control of symptoms in patients of achalasia can be achieved by this procedure. It is also known as surgical sectioning. In this procedure, the muscle fibers of the lower esophageal sphincter are cut, allowing the food contents to pass into the stomach. Usually a 3 to 4 centimeter longitudinal incision is given in this procedure. The major complication of this surgical procedure is gastroesophageal reflux disease, but it can be avoided by performing partial fundop ligation. Note that hilar myotomy is the gold standard surgical operation for the treatment of achalasia. Achalasia can also be treated by another procedure which is known as peroral endoscopic myotomy. In this procedure, endoscope is inserted through the mouth of the patient and the myotomy is performed without any external incision. The circular muscle layer of the lower esophageal sphincter is divided through a submucosal tunnel that is created in this procedure.